Good afternoon, brother and sister. It's a pleasure to meet with you again. Let's start with the prayer before we start this time. Bend your head and pray with me. Lord, make us an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is a doubt, faith. Where there is a despair, hope. Where there is a darkness, light. Where there is a sadness, a joy. O God, grant that we might not such seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Thank you. Now, as I talked to you before, the matter of the iron heart is the obedience, brother and sister. But today we're going to discuss something wonderful that happened between these two religions, Islam and Christianity. Today our lesson is going to cover the Christian response to the challenge of Islam. The history of the Christian religion is that of constant warfare against the force of evil. The God-given mandate to the Church of God is to fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life. That's in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12. And while this fight is not limited to doctrinal polemic, it is demonstrated throughout the early New Testament era. In the Gospel, the book of Acts, and the epistle that the early Christians were challenged by and responded to numerous doctrinal heresy, which subverts the soul. Act is in Act chapter 15, verse 24. Reminding the Corinthian church of this war, Paul said, "For thought we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not eternal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought." To the obedience of Christ. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3-5. A high things that exalt itself against the knowledge of God is the religion of Islam in today's world. With an estimated 1 billion adherents, this religion goal is to take the word for Islam. Its founder, Muhammad, was born 600 years after the birth of Jesus. But the number of his followers far exceed that of New Testament Christians today, and its doctrine constitutes one of the greatest challenges to the Christian faith today. The potency in its challenge is the fact that it claims a common origin with Christianity in Abraham, the father of the faithful. And it attempts to use the Bible in proof for this claim. as well as in proof of its other claim regarding the prophethood of Muhammad and authenticity and inspiration of its holy book, the Quran. The oneness of God and the rule of Jesus Christ. It is in this area that Islam presents its challenge to the truths of the Christian religion, because it contradicts the teaching of the Bible on each of these subjects. Christianity must confront this false religion and its biblical contradiction, because it subverts the soul and will cause a man to not be able to lay hold on the eternal life. Abrahamic origin claim. Islam claimed that its prophet Muhammad, who was Arab, was a direct descendant of Abraham through his son, Ishmael. To sustain this position, Islam shows in the book of Genesis that Ishmael was the firstborn son of Abraham by Hagar, the handmaid of Sarah, his wife, and as such retained all the right and promises of the firstborn, although Abraham had a second son, Isaac, by Sarah. These right promises among the Hebrew included a certain preferential status, preciousness, sanctity, authority, sovereignty, responsibility, and the right of succession to the father. As his birthright, the firstborn had claim to the family blessing. Is in Genesis chapter 27, verse 1 to 4.